Hi everyone, welcome back to the CSFX Works. Today we have a printer to repair, and this printer is the Canon Pixma iP90V. It's in the opposite direction, but you can read Canon logo here. So the problem with this printer is that the waste ink container is at the end of its service life. Well, it's not really at the end, but it's right at the end of it, and I cannot sell a printer in these conditions. Why I cannot sell a printer in these conditions? Because I really could do that. I can sell a used fully functional printer at the 90% of its service life. I can do that, but it's something that I would never like to have done on me. So I would really avoid to buy a printer without knowing the state of its waste ink absorber. Well, at least for the printers like this, so the portable printers. So this printer, as you can see by the apron print, you can see here D89.6%. This is the value of the wasted ink inside of that tank. We have like the 10% free of that tank. So as I don't want any of my customers to pay $100 more for a printer that is at 90% of its service life, let's replace the container in advance. So before doing this, I would like to say that on eBay you can find a lot of these parts for well, maybe it depends on where are you, but in my country, that's Italy, I can search in the Europe, and in the Europe there are a lot of people that sells actually these containers, and they are completely new, they are white completely, and they are for $20 or $30. This is a 37%, so it's a pretty used one, but it's not full. And if I reset the counter of the printer with a waste ink container like this, I won't have any problems, because let's say I have 100% full waste ink container and I reset it. I will be able to print on this printer as soon as the counter reaches around 40 or 50%, and then ink will start to flow over in the place from the printer. So if I have a container like this that is at 37% or 35%, I can insert this into the printer and reset the counter without any problems. So let's open up this printer, but before doing this you have to remove the battery. So we can just take the printer in this way and we can rotate this flat screws. So after removing the battery, let's take the battery apart. So now we have to take a Phillips screwdriver and remove these two screws. So this one here and this one here. Okay, so now we have to rotate the printer upside down in this way, and we have to remove this little cover. So we have to bend it a bit and it will come off right like that. So now we have to remove this screw and these two screws here. So let's remove those. Okay, so after doing that, we can take the printer in this way again, and we can start to detach these two latches here. So this one and the other one will probably come out the same way. So as you can see now, I can take a bit open this, but there's a problem. So here there's a latch that has to be detached before, so it's better to remove this cover the same way that we removed the other cover, and then with a flat screwdriver, pretty big, do lever in this way, then detach the two latches here. So now we can open this up. So as you can see, it doesn't open because here we have on the front two latches that are still engaged. So this is a bit tricky, but you have to press in this position here, and in the same moment you have to try to open it. So it's something like this, and it will come off. Okay, so now we have an opened printer. So here you can see the wasting container, but you cannot access it from here. You have to take apart all the other parts of the printer. So let's start removing the battery. So not the other battery, but the backup battery. So you have to unscrew these two screws over here. Okay, so the battery is free. Okay, now there's a bit tricky part. So you have to remove a flat cable, but this flat cable is inside here. So you have to do something like this. You have to take a screwdriver and take it out and then detach it. Pay attention to not to break it, because this flat cable is the same that connects the printer to the Bluetooth adapter and Bluetooth connector, so you don't have to break it, absolutely. So now you can take a flat screwdriver and take it inside here, as you can see here at the part of the battery connector. So you can easily take the connector outside of the slot. So now you can do the same thing about the power connector. If I'm not doing something like a Canon authorized center would do, it's because the service manual doesn't tell you how to open this printer and how to repair it. It's like, well, this is the printer, this is the error codes, and well, have a good time for repairing this printer. So now we can easily remove the printer from its container. So this is the printer chassis. So take this apart, and this is the printer. So now we have to remove this sticky tapes like here, like so. Take this apart, don't throw them. They will become useful in the reassembly of the printer. So now we can remove these cables from this part. So now we have to unscrew this screw over here. Okay, that's fine. So now we have to remove this cable from its connector. So simply take it out. Okay, so now take this cable out of this plastic latch. Okay, so now take the printer upside down, remove this plastic part, and take the cables that are in here outside. So something like this, because these are parts of the wasting container that we have to remove. So like so. Then you can now take out these flat cables from the plastic part. Okay, like so. We will take them inside again. So now we can remove this latch here, and the wasting container will come away from the printer. So it's a bit tricky, but you can do this. So here we have it. Now the printer is without its wasting container. So be careful about this place and this place, because there is plenty of ink there. So you don't want to make some place where you work dirty or something like that. So now this is the new one, well, sort of new one, and this is the used one. So we have to remove this plastic here, and apply this on the new one, because this plastic is very useful for taking those cables inside here, so like so. Then we can even take this plastic part away from the old one and take it on the new one. It's not so useful, but you can do it. Okay, so now we have the flat plastic something on the wasting container. So this, I think we can throw it in trash because it's well heavy of ink. It's there are plenty of ink inside here, so let's take it apart for now. So now we can take again inside of the printer the new wasting container. So let's do something like this. So we have to insert this like we took this out before. So as I said, it's a bit tricky, but don't worry, take your time for doing things properly, and you will manage to get a new wasting tank inside of your printer. So now we can take those cables inside here again, and even the plastic tab inside. That's fine. So now we can take these cables inside these guides again. Okay, so I managed to take those flat cables inside the guide. So now we can take the printer the opposite way, and we can take this screw inside here again. So be careful that the backup battery cables are not in the way. Then take the screw and take it back here. Okay, so let's check that this latch is inside. Perfect. So now we can again take this this magnetic anti-static something here and take the cable this way to here, to the main board. So let's take it here and connect to the main board. Fine. Then take the tapes on here again, so this way, and the other one like so. Fine. So now take the cable inside this guide again, and I think we have pretty done our job changing it. So it's connected, it's everything fine, nothing is in the wrong place. Be sure to check everything before reassembling the printer, because it's pretty important. So yeah, I think we have done everything in the correct way. So now we can take the printer case again here. So now we can take the printer inside here again, in this part before, so the front part. Then be careful about the Bluetooth cable again, this cable, this flat cable. So then we can push down the printer, so like so. Then the battery connector, okay, and then the power connector. So okay, so now the printer is connected and it's in place. So now be sure to check everything now. This latch must be attached, so be sure that it clicks in place. Then be sure that the printer is down, so everything is flat to the chassis of the printer. Then we have to take this inside the printer and connect it to the main board again. So this again, pair of tweezers would be great. So yeah, don't need tweezers. We can do it without them. So the cable is connected, but I would like to take it inside again like before. So come on, go inside the printer. Okay, so the cable is connected, as you see, and the cable is in a good position. So now we can connect and insert the battery again here. So be sure to check everything, and as I said, I was forgetting something. So the battery connector, as you see, it's not in place, so be sure not to touch the pins and force the plastic part down. So as you see, now is in place. As you see that the battery connector is in place, you can take the battery or the backup battery inside again. So let's take those two screws inside. Now we can take the chassis of the printer back on. So now, as I told you before, you have to do the front first. So be sure to insert the front first and then the back of the printer. So okay, then this part. Okay, that's fine. And now we can do the back. Now, as you reach this point, be sure to check something here. As you see, here there's a latch. This have to go perfectly at the part of the printer where the latch is. So, as this is down, you can go on and insert the other two latches and finally close the printer. As you see now, it's perfectly flat, it's perfectly mounted, and then we can screw again the two screws on the back. So the first two screws that we removed. Okay, so now we can reattach the cover. As I told you before, bend it like so and insert them to prevent breaking these two parts. So now we can take the printer upside down again and insert the last two screws, and then you can proceed to the reset of the printer. So I have told you how to reset the counter of the printer in another video, so you can watch that video. They will link into the video description to reset the counter. So after I have reset the counter, now I will speed this part because I have already told you how to do that in another video. I will come back and I will let you see this printer perfectly working. Okay, so now I have reset the counter and the printer is performing a cleaning cycle because it has been off for a very long time. So after this will be complete, the printer will be ready to go. Now it's cleaning. I will speed up this again. And there you have it. D 0.00.0%. So this is the reset, so replace and reset of the wasting container on the IP90 and IP90V printers. So I would print even a service test print, but I'm pretty sure that this won't be perfect because it cannot be perfectly clean, you know. It's not even aligned, so I'm sure this won't be the best service test print that you've ever seen, but okay, so as you see, perfectly misaligned and not a correct inflow, but I will fix this. This is not the point of the video. This is the point of the video. The point of this video is to have 0% waste in container and a replace of it. So thank you for viewing this video. I hope you enjoyed this. If you liked it, please leave a like and maybe subscribe, or maybe just well, write a comment where you tell me your adventures with your IP90 printer. So thank you once again. See you in the next video.